Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a first impressions ride on the Royal Enfield Bear 650, and this genuinely will be a first impressions ride because I've never ever ridden a Royal Enfield, so I'm really looking forward to this one. I've had a quick look around the bike and it really appeals to me on first glance. The stripped back, Scrambler-esque look, the lack of tech, all appeals to me 100%, so I'm really looking forward to this one. So if you want to see how I get on and what I think to the bike, jump on the pillion seat and I'll take you all for a ride. The bike really reminds me of my old Honda CB750 from the 1970s. The seating position, the weight of the bike, the handlebar position. Also, when you put your foot down, you've got the foot pegs, which are right where you want to put your foot on the floor, and that is exactly how my CB750 is. So, it definitely has that retro element to it. All the handlebar controls are classically styled and well placed. There's the added benefit of a USB socket also. The dash is extremely easy to use, very clear, has a dark and a light mode. You can also connect your phone and use sat-nav. The seat height is 830mm. The engine is a 648cc twin and it comes with a 6-speed gearbox. For the exhaust we have a 2-into-1 system. The front suspension is a 43mm Showa upside down telescopic fork with 130mm of travel. The rear suspension is a twin shock setup with 115mm of travel. The rear lights and the indicators are LED. Front lights and front indicators are also LED. The front brakes are a 320mm disc with a Vibra caliper. Rear brakes are a 270mm disc with a Vibra caliper. The bike has a steel tubular double cradle frame. The bike weighs in at 214 kg with 90% fuel. The fuel tank capacity is 13.7 litres. The front wheel is 19 inch and the rear wheel is 17 inch, both are spoked. Royal Enfield, you have put a smile on my face and absolutely nailed it with this bike. I don't think I've had this much fun on a cold, damp December day on a motorcycle for a very long time, if ever. I jumped on the bike this morning, kicked it into first gear, and away I went, and I've not stopped grinning since. This really is a bike which speaks to me and appeals to me, because it is exactly in my head how a bike should be, stripped back, none of the tech, none of the fancy gizmos and modes for this, modes for that. It's got two wheels, a frame and engine, a seat and some handlebars, and that is all you need. Genuinely, this is a bike I would consider adding to my own collection, and that is after probably 4 or 5 hours riding today. As I said earlier, this genuinely is a first impressions ride, not only of this bike, but of Royal Enfield, because I've never ridden one before. Definitely not a horrendous exhaust by any stretch, and could live with it very happily. But personally, I would love to have seen a shotgun style on this bike. I really think coming up around this height to about here, cut off, nice narrow pipes, I think would look absolutely superb on this bike and finish it off. Another good point for me and a great styling feature is the spoked wheels. I absolutely love spoked wheels on a motorcycle, and Royal Enfield have pleased me no end there with that. One thing which I must give a massive thumbs up to Royal Enfield for is this display here. It's probably flickering on the camera, but it doesn't in real life. The design of this is exactly on point. This is how all retro bikes, if they're going to have a TFT, this is how it needs to be done. This is head and shoulders above any other which I've seen on the market, and it's so clear when you're riding. It's just a quick glance down, you can see all the information nice and clear and concise. I really think this is something that Royal Enfield should be applauded for. This is a great design. For me, Royal Enfield have really upped their game in the last couple of years. The fit and the finish of this bike and the range of bikes now which they have out, I think has really gone up. The paintwork, to me, that's as good as you can get on most other brands. The fit and finish of the bike, all is superb for the price that you're paying. I absolutely love this bar brace here, the handlebar brace. It really gives a desert racer look to the bike, and it also reminds me very much of the Matisse, the Steve McQueen Desert Racer Matisse. Is when I'm riding along on the bike and I look down and see that, that's what it makes me think of. One thing which I possibly would say to change would be the indicators. They look a bit bulky, a bit plasticky, so yeah, probably get rid of those. I have seen bar end indicators which look absolutely awesome, and I think they would suit this bike down to a T. So if I was going to change anything on the bike, it would be, as I said, the exhaust, probably some bar end indicators, and change the rear ones for some smaller ones. But other than that, I'm genuinely struggling to find fault with this bike. Well, I'm going to hit the road again now and enjoy the last bit of the afternoon on the Royal Enfield 650 Bear. I can guarantee it certainly won't be a chore. So catch up with me later and I'll let you know what my final thoughts are on my first day of riding and my first impressions of the Royal Enfield Bear. So let's do a little acceleration test off the line. We are going uphill though. Here we go. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Nothing wrong with that, not in my opinion. This definitely feels like the Bear's natural environment. Tight, twisty roads, single tracks, in the country, and in the woodlands. Well, after a full day in the saddle on the Royal Enfield Bear 650, I'm riding back now in the last of the afternoon sun, and I've got to say it has been a glorious day to be out enjoying this bike and getting a little more familiar with it. It's been an absolute pleasure to ride all day. Well, I said I was struggling for negatives to find. The only one which I can possibly say would be the suspension. After quite a few hours in the saddle, I found that when you're going over bumps or maybe like a roundabout when it's ripply, it's a little bit hard and it could do with being softened off just a touch. There is some room for adjustment in the front forks, so that's something which could be looked at and hopefully help out. Other than that, it's been pretty much a faultless day's riding. I did find that the foot pegs were a little bit sticky when trying to slide your feet up and down, but again, that's nothing major. For the next video, I'm going to take the Bear 650 on a longer road test. So if you want to see how I get on with that and what my thoughts are, make sure you tune into the channel for that one. It'd be great to hear from any Bear 650 owners. Let me know in the comments below what your experiences of this bike and ownership have been like. Have they been reliable? Is there any faults? What's Royal Enfield servicing and customer service been like? If you have any questions or would like to know anything about the Bear 650, please do drop a comment below and I will get back to you. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe below. Remember to keep it shiny side up and I'll see you all in the next one.